Now it's gonna be real fun if Kevin doesn't show up. Oh, there he is.
There I
What's up,
am.
Kevin?
Hey. Good morning. How are we feeling today? Where are
Good
you at?
morning. Oh, I'm in Patagonia, and we're doing a video, very non-comedic, about some AI stuff happening down here. So I guess we'll also find out about that.
Oh, good. We've got some AI talk today. And I love the irony of wearing a North Face jacket in Patagonia. Really sticking it to the man.
Thanks,
That's
man.
fun.
Thanks. I've been. I just can't afford a Patagonia jacket, to be honest. But this is the one I had, and this is the one I brought, and that's it. I'm sorry to the Patagonia people, who I like, by the way.
This is funny. Look at this. Willow and Sage Farms, different kind of stand-up. I get it now. Hey, just you wait. Just you strap in. All right? We're gonna be all over the place in terms of what stand-up can mean. Is anybody here on a date tonight? How about you two? You two
Ah.
date it? You know, crowd work? Is that what I'm... What's going on, huh? You guys
um,
celebrating? Huh? What's up front? We
yeah,
got a
yeah.
bachelorette party?
No, we're not a couple. We're just friends hanging out.
Oh, it's
That's
always
the
like,
info.
oh, he hesitated. He hesitated. Oh, that's always the. Um, all right. Well, let's get right into it. There's some
Let's do
big
it. What do you
news.
have for me, man?
Some big news happening over at Tesla. I think, I don't know. I just hope Elon Musk can afford to feed his mini children because, boy, this guy just doesn't make enough money. Elon Musk is battling shareholders over a $1 trillion Tesla pay package. So,
Yeah, this is happening as we speak, by the way,
mhm.
people. So vote happening right now. We don't, this is live, but and still we don't know what's happening. This is as close to a journalist as I've felt, like kind of commenting on live events now. But yeah, Elon might or might not be paid a $1 trillion benefit package. It's supposed to kind of roll over a few years. It's like a stock option package sort of situation. Uh, some shareholders are unhappy, mainly the Norwegian foreign fund that's invested in Tesla. They don't want to pay the CEO $878 billion in bonuses, but he's got mouths to feed, right?
He's got mouths to feed, and I'm sure that's the only reason he wants it. Yeah, I don't know. So I'm a little confused by this because he's already making a bunch of money from the company and everything. So like why does he need this right now? Is he trying to buy a country or something? Like what's going on? Also, I noticed the target for the pay package includes driving Tesla's market value from around 1 trillion up to about 8.5 trillion, which would be
Mm.
quite a leap and I don't know, pretty bold. I also don't have context for this quote, but this is what he looks like. CNBC quoted him as saying, "Quote: If we build this robot army, do I at least have a strong influence over that robot army? I don't feel comfortable building that robot army if I don't have at least a strong influence." He really doubled down there. What is he planning? What?
Mm.
He's building a robot army and he's
um,
demanding more money. It sounds like a threat.
I mean, I can see the robots kind of. No, I don't see the robots becoming a thing. By the way, we saw the Neo 1X robot that last week, still just being a puppet that somebody was handling. Like most of Tesla's uh, stock value and stock inflation, if you will, comes from the fact that they're supposedly going to build these robots, not necessarily from the cars, definitely not from the cars lately that he turned back on half of his customers, the liberals. So, so I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe
I
Cybertruck sales.
I do think this is ego. Can I throw that out there? At what point?
Mm.
What is he? Is I deserve a bazillion, gajillion dollars. I don't know if your boss can buy Norway with his bonus. I don't know if it's really performance based. Maybe it's something else.
Mm.
I think I want to talk. You ready to move on? I kind of want to talk about this Nvidia stuff, though. Speaking of a bunch of money
Yeah,
being
let's do it.
thrown
Good.
around, Nvidia this last week became the world's first $5 trillion public traded company, market cap of 5 trillion. Nvidia is now worth more than the combined stock markets of all countries, apart from the United States, China, and Japan. AKA Jinshin Huang just became the Federal Reserve. Essentially, he's bigger than Amazon, Tesla, and Meta combined. How do we feel about that?
Yeah, that also happens, by the way, over the course of 79 trading days. So Nvidia went from a $4 trillion market cap to a $5 trillion market cap in a matter of, it says that, 3-4 months. But we're not in a bubble, man. It's not a bubble.
Yeah, for
it's all
sure,
fine.
not a bubble. It's not a bubble, it's a gold rush. And is that the exact same thing with a different paint job? Yes, absolutely. Every chatbot, every startup, every AI-powered spreadsheet thingy that you've downloaded runs on NVIDIA's chips. And basically, NVIDIA is selling the shovels to every prospector in Silicon Valley. So come on, grab your
Not only
pickaxe.
that-
There's gold in them hills.
Not only that, they're sort of like they're in this like weird loop where the company's so valuable because of GPU sales that they now do kind of this loop where they invest money in OpenAI so that they buy more chips from them. So like it's round. If it's round and spherical and transparent, it looks like a bubble. A good note, like, so Michael Burry, you might remember him from the weird guy in The Big Short, the Christian Bale's character. He's become I don't want to say he's become a bit of a prophet, but we kind of people started paying attention to him after he got that one right, so that one bubble, where he made a lot of money, by the way, by shorting the housing market that nobody thought was a bubble. So he called bubble too last week. Started betting against Nvidia and Palantir through his fund. I mean, so if you don't listen to a comedian and a random CEO on the other side half of the world, maybe listen to that guy.
Let's listen to that guy. I don't. I think the second I get off this call, I'm gonna Google whatever he's betting on and throw my $50 into it. I don't know. Does anybody who doesn't own Nvidia stock feel good about this? Like, that's just a $5 trillion is such a staggering amount of money. It's upsetting. It's like when you hear about how many stars are in the sky or grains of sand on a beach. You know, it like doesn't make me feel good to know that this number exists. Does that make sense?
What's funny with Nvidia, I mean, now everybody's kind of into the Nvidia thing, but old timers will remember Nvidia for just being one of the two potential brands of video cards that you could buy to play your whatever video game you wanted to play. Could we say, Kevin, that it had noble beginnings with the whole video game thing, and suddenly for some reason it's the $5 trillion bubble?
Yeah, totally. The video game industry's never been problematic. It's noble beginnings. I know what you mean, though. I'd always heard the name NVIDIA, and it's like, yeah, they're the guys that make, when I'm playing, this is probably going too far back for NVIDIA to be relevant, but GoldenEye or something. Yeah, the bad guys are running into walls and missing me with every shot. This AI thing's going nowhere, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah, part of the reason I'm here, really the reason I'm here is, so like OpenAI announced this $25 billion data center that they're building out here in Patagonia in Argentina. But it's all a little shady because nobody knows where the thing is going to be built. The company that's supposed to run it, Sur Energy, or like the company that they partnered with, didn't exist before then, and this announcement came just like 2 weeks before the election. But still, like, potentially hundreds of thousands of NVIDIA GPUs are making their way down here for some extra processing power for your thing.
Some extra data centers, huh?
Yeah.
How perfect. Because data centers are kind of a hot button issue. And there was just something in the news, and this is there's a couple stories a little over my head. I think this is one of them, but the greenhouse gas protocol, the GHGP, is basically the accounting system for corporate carbon emissions, and there's a big debate right now between them and big tech in regards to how they kind of calculate the emissions that these data centers are outputting it. So they're telling companies what counts as pollution and what doesn't. And so like Google, Microsoft, Amazon, these companies are lobbying against them to change the rules because, surprise, they don't like counting the pollution from their data centers. Can we just not count that? It's data. It's good. It's good. We're just building Skynet. Leave us alone. You know?
Yeah, the way that works is some tricky accounting, right? So here's kind of how that works. So if you run this data center and it takes 1 megawatt of power at midnight, right? That power is absolutely not going to come from sun power, solar. So you probably have to source that power from coal or from oil, right? Because it's the middle of the night. And so what these companies have been doing cleverly is to go and say, well, I'm paying that 1 megawatt of power during the day to this clean energy company source to say, solar or wind power, but that happened during the day, and I'm still writing it off because I paid them, so I get to write off my oil power spending during the night, even though it didn't happen at the same time. So this is the way it's been working for a while. Like a lot of companies, when they say they're carbon neutral in their power, is because they pay those hours, but the hours are not aligning between one and the other. So that's actually what's changing, which is fine. I mean, which is perfect by me, but obviously not great for these companies that now have to crack their heads at finding clean energy during the night, or when there's no wind, or when some of the renewables aren't working as they should.
Yeah, I didn't realize we were on vampire rules. That's crazy. So, like, it fucking matter. You have the money. Pay the bill. It's like having a roommate. I don't know if you've ever had, like, I'm poor white trash, and I've had roommates who are, like, parents are supporting them, and I'm like, what do you mean you're late on rent? Pay the rent and do the dishes, Eric. All right, sorry. Getting heated. But there is some good news. Some companies are actually trying to help with the emissions. There's a startup challenging NVIDIA with their new probabilistic computing chip. Am I saying that right? Will you take the wheel on this?
Probabilistic computer. Yeah, I'll take it.
I'm already in over my head.
It's over my head, by all means. I'm sure the reporter or the journalist who wrote this article was also way in over their head. So like they're just trying to paraphrase a little bit, which is what I'm going to do. So this company called Extrotic launched XDR-0, which is a thermodynamic probabilistic development board, and their thermal simulator. Blah 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 blah. All to say that there's this new approach to processing power, which doesn't depend exclusively on ones and zeros, but on the probability of a number landing within a range of numbers. That's as far as I understand. It's not quantum computing per se, or the way we've understood quantum computing for a while. But this combination of hardware and software that this company Extropic is building could maybe pop the 5 trillion bubble to NVIDIA, because right now they're really the only ones, they're the only company that's manufacturing GPUs at this scale, and that's what's made them so valuable. So hope that somebody else can take some of that money too, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I
level
definitely,
the playing field.
I'm all about innovation and stuff as long as it's ethical. That's my big thing, and this seems exactly like the kind of thing that I'm always trying to champion here. Any sort of better, more efficient, cleaner energy. I don't understand anything about quantum computing, so if anybody wants to leave the longest comment ever breaking it down for me, that sure would be helpful. Yes, I could Google it, but who has the time? I do think that the other plan to make the emissions a little bit more efficient is a little bit more sexy. It's a little bit more exciting. Google is planning a space-based AI data center. Let me take that again. Google's planning a space-based AI data center for solar-powered operations. So basically, they're going to put an AI data center into orbit, and they're calling it Project Suncatcher, which sounds like something Lex Luthor would build to block out the sun so he could kill Superman. And that alone has my vote. How fun. What a cartoonish, stupid world we are living in now.
Um, so to,
Go on.
so I'll just give the context. Like it's I don't know, like so it's like powering all these data centers is an issue. What these guys have tried to do is, or I mean, what they're trying to do, what they believe is possible, is putting all these satellites in orbit in this formation, like this short range formation, where they can talk to each other through lasers, for reals, and like rotate around Earth on this cycle that is where it's always daylight, right? So essentially follow landlocked to the sun. So you always have sun power for these satellites. They're doing all these computing out in space, which is colder and I guess helps keep the GPUs fresher, I suppose. But in theory, if it works, could be the new way to annoy the stargazers and the telescope people with a bunch of new satellite arrays flying over us.
How do you feel about that? I think it's kind of cool. I think it's a fun, outside the box kind of. Let's try it. You know, we haven't thrown enough. Here's the thing. I feel there's two things I think that are cool about this. The idea of like a cluster of satellites and things like that is very sci-fi, very futuristic. You know, I like the idea that when I say something's in the cloud, it's literally in the clouds. I think that's real cute. I think that's fun. I also think this approach is kind of like saying, hey, look, we've run out of land, so let's ruin space next. And the last thing, I got one last thing about this. There's also something ironic about launching rockets to make your AI more carbon neutral. You know how bad jet fuel is for the planet? But it's like, short-term gains, nah. But maybe
Try offsetting.
if society continues to pass the next 10 years, maybe it'll even out and it'll be fine.
Try carbon offsetting that rocket launch every time you have to send the new GPU for repairs.
Exactly.
No,
Is it
but
daytime?
for reals,
Is it nighttime emissions? When are we launching these rockets?
no, like I mean, the theory is kind of exciting. Like I think, for space nerds, Starlink's satellites have been a nuisance. For example, I mean, they belong to Elon. Let's just pretend that Starlink isn't an Elon thing. Starlink is a great thing if it weren't for Elon. Like it's helped get internet to a bunch of people that wouldn't get otherwise. It's essentially it's a gateway to satellite internet, which now may come to your iPhone even. So like I think that's kind of cool. The only argument against it, or the main argument against it too, one is space junk, which is an issue. One of the Chinese one Chinese satellite actually got hit by space junk this week because there's so much space junk floating in space now. And when something hits something in space, it creates this explosion, and that's just more space junk that orbits Earth. So that's a bit of a problem. That's kind of annoying astronauts. I think that, a few years from now, hopefully it'll never happen. But if, right, a spaceship gets hit by something, it's like, well, it's going to be too late to do anything about it then. But yeah, satellites don't help that part. And the other is just kind of like astrophotography, which is a very nerdy thing that I like to do. But yeah, when you're kind of shooting photos of the stars, you now have all these satellite trails that fly over, which is a minor annoyance to me. It's slightly a bigger annoyance to people actually doing science with those space photos from telescopes. The ESO, the European Space Observatory in Chile, where I'm headed. Commercial about our next video.
Very cool.
We're making a video about that. Now has like a certain percentage of hours where they just can't operate because there are so many satellites up there. So
really,
again,
see, I thought this, like I said, the idea of a bunch of satellites sounds cool. I thought there's like, I don't know, Hubble and a couple weather ones and like like space junk. By the way, if you're playing at home, take a shot every time Kaya says space junk. Space junk is a problem? Really?
It is.
How does space junk stack up against Earth junk, though?
Oh, a smaller problem.
Right?
A much smaller problem.
We can handle a little space junk. Let's spread it around. because we are messy. As a species, we leave a lot of waste. We just do. We haven't come up with good solutions. And instead of fixing it, we're just expanding the reach of our junk into space. I like space junk. I don't know why I really like the sound of that, like a sequel to Space Jam. That sucks. That's dystopian. Space junk.
The biggest problem with space junk shots
There it
is it just flies too fast, right? To be in orbit.
Yeah.
To be in orbit, you have to be at a certain speed. I think it's 25,000 kilometers per hour. That's at like 18,000 miles per hour. Like that's enough. That's the speed that you need to be at so that an object remains in orbit and doesn't fall with gravity. So any space junk that you run into is gonna be like piercing speed, kill you basically.
Oh, so there's a chance something could just fall out of the sky and crush us. Like,
Oh no, that's fine. Atmosphere will take care of that.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Just if you're in space, yeah.
Oh, the other way.
Yeah.
There's nothing out there.
Just if you're out there. That's fine.
Yeah. And it's messing up your photos. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I don't like that. I want to preserve nature. I'm a big like national parks and all that stuff. But I didn't know you could even see this stuff from down here. That is interesting. Well, then in that case, no one has a good solution, and we should shut down all AI and even the internet. And let's take out the data centers while we're at it, and all go live in the woods and start farming again. And that's really the only way humanity has. Oh, how about this? In the comments, Joe99, what if I build a startup to clean up space junk? Honestly, that could get some backing. That could work. I don't know what your background is, Joe, but I hope it has something to do with either cleaning or space, because we're going to need an expert in one of those.
It's a thing, by the way.
I believe you.
Companies are trying to figure this out. Yeah.
How to clean? Yeah, but they've been when AI was introduced, they were like, we're gonna use it to fix the environment, and then it's just deep fakes of Sam Altman, and it's like, okay, so is anyone working on this, or is that just to kind of build public confidence? I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it. But speaking of crazy, dumb, maybe business ideas, Meta. They keep trying new things. They've tried and abandoned VR, AR, and now a group of former Meta employees just launched a startup called Stream, and their flagship product is a smart ring that lets you take voice notes, control music, and talk to AI all from your finger. Yeah, take that, Palm. No more holding stuff. Now I gotta wear stuff. And I'm sure this in no way will result in a police state when we're all wearing glasses and rings and belts and, cummerbunds that are constantly recording everything. That's right. AI cummerbunds are coming for you. How do you feel about this? Why are we trying to wear computers? Why is this something being pushed on us? Is anybody into this? Are you into this?
I think it's hiding my Apple Watch that I bought.
Well, that's the other thing I was thinking. Doesn't an Apple Watch do this anyway?
Yeah, it does. But you look like a Power Ranger if you try to kind of speak to it and record a voice note. I think that's the only reason why they do the ring thing. Because if you see the photos on the article, which is, in the photos in the article, you have someone like standing like this with like their ring. It's like, oh, I'm taking a voice note and I'm like speaking really, like they're like whispering to the thing. That's a feature. You can whisper to the thing and take a voice note. Kind of like if you're in the middle of a meeting, just put your ring out here. That's what it does. It gives you tap feedback if it got the note right.
But now we're learning new gestures and things when you could just phone or I'm fine with the Dick Tracy watch thing. That's cool. That's fine. Whenever somebody's like, I'll be home in 15 minutes. I'm like, it's nerdy, but it also makes me feel like I'm in the future. That's kind of cool. A ring?
Okay.
Isn't like it's not sexy enough, I think, to call it innovation, Right?
It's not the only one. I saw there's a couple of pendants now. They're mostly focused on women, but like this jewelry thing that you have hanging, and that's the AI, and it listens to you just like the ring would.
Is
This
this
is for
the
unisex, the ring.
is this the friendship simulator thing? The you know what I'm talking about, the little buddy.
No.
There are ads all over New York in the subways for like an AI friend that's a pendant, and people are just
Oh.
I've like really having fun with the vandalization of it. Nobody wants it. There's like a new derogatory term for robots. Do you know what it is? Do you know what I'm
No,
talking
what is
about?
it?
Somebody in
I
the
don't know.
chat knows. By the way, I just got a point. This Functor, people are using it to vibe code fart analyzing apps and smut image generators. Which, just way to use vibe code and fart in the same sentence. I just love it. Fart analyzing. Is that like, does it rank your fart, you know? Or is it like, how's my diet? Is it like a health thing? You know? Do we
That's
need smell-o-vision with AI?
more startup ideas courtesy of Kevin on a Thursday.
I'm just saying, we got great. Clean up space junk, analyze some farts. I don't know. I think the idea of like the glasses and the ring and blah 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 is maybe to promote less screen time, right? And maybe it's a push while people are trying to move away from their phones. These companies need to figure out ways to stay in your life. And it's like, all right, we'll remove the screen, but we still want that sweet data, baby. Give me that data. You are our biggest resource to these companies is our wallets and our data.
Yeah.
And we can't
expand that to Meta using some of that data for ads now. And OpenAI, even though they are officially not using your data for anything other than just making their chatbots smarter, I guess the underlying issue there is like OpenAI is working on a hardware piece of tech, right? Johnny Ive got acquired for some $1 billion number because they have just infinite money, right? And so with their infinite money, bubble Nvidia investments, $500 billion valuation. So they acquired Johnny Ive's company, and they're reportedly working on some form of hardware device that we don't know if it's going to be kind of like a better Alexa, because Alexa feels so dumb now, or like some sort of wearable situation. We don't know, but that's coming. The problem with OpenAI, or the challenge, is like OpenAI is a $20 billion company in terms of revenue on a $500 billion valuation. So how are they going to make those things match? How are they going to monetize you to make that valuation worthwhile? Nobody knows.
That's kind of the big question we're all trying to figure out. With did you say up top we're not calling it a bubble? Did you say up top we're not calling it?
I said that. Yeah.
Then I don't have another word for what the fuck is going on, other than clanker. I googled it. That's the derogatory term for the impending robot overthrow that's coming. People are already using the word clanker. Get those clankers out of here, which I think is real fun.
Yeah.
Because it takes.
I guess a related.
It takes any sleek, sexy robot that you might have envisioned, and you call it a clanker, and all of a sudden it's like rusty and arms falling off. You know what I mean? Like it goes from an iPhone to an Android real quick when you call it a clanker.
Speaking of bad AI, it's happened to me, man. Like the other day, I was on TikTok and I saw this. Like I just passed this TikTok of this wolf pack that had adopted a Chihuahua. I don't know if you saw this.
No.
And I saw this,
Sick.
and it's like, it's like this like night like camera in the forest, like a wolf pack, and they have a Chihuahua with them. It's like, oh, like it became part of the herd. So I then like scroll past like next day, and I'm like, yeah, that's crazy, but whatever. And then next day I run into the same TikTok again, and like, wait, is this AI? And that's the thing with these Sora videos, like they get you with, if you see like Trump doing some stupid shit, that's just reality, but if you see like Trump doing some stuff that he's not supposed to be doing, you're kind of like, if there's some like political figure or somebody famous, you're always, you kind of like your alerts go off, and then you assume that this is something that that's that's kind of forged in some way. But with the wolves and the Chihuahua, like your brain is off, like your alerts, your radars are not on, and so you get caught. And this is what happened to Fox. So Fox News Digital published this Halloween story about Snap, crucial to 41 million Americans, and now in danger because of the government shutdown. And you had these beneficiaries of Snap threatening to ransack stores. It turned out that the all the threats were AI generated videos.
Yeah, and I think it pulls up two things, two big problems here. One, it was racist. Let's just say it. It was showing low-income black women complaining about using food stamps for things that maybe you shouldn't be using food stamps for, just so that, you know, it plays on racist tropes. And yeah, it has an agenda. It wasn't just like, oh, look at this random video that we found. They were pushing an angle. They were saying it without saying it, you know? And there's a growing risk of generative AI content being misused to amplify prejudice and disinformation. And there's a responsibility of major media outlets to vet content. And so, especially with Fox and, you know, not just them, but there's a lot of news sources. This isn't a one-off mistake. It's a problem. And Fox specifically has a long history of running stories that turn out to be false, exaggerated, politically engineered. You know, the 2020 election stuff that they were pumping and things like that, or that led to a $787 million settlement with Dominion. Things like that. And it's just like, this is not the climate to not be checking your sources. It feels reckless. It feels I don't know. It feels very like, what am I trying to say? If it was a one-off, I think we could look at this story and say, hey, that's kind of crazy. But it's more like, it feels like a intentional stoking of a flame, and they're using new technology to do it, and then wiping their hands clean of like, hey, we didn't know. And I don't think that's an excuse anymore. I don't think that's a lot. I think we're officially in the age of AI where we're not allowed to be tricked so easily, where we need to have our head on a swivel, you know?
Yeah, and also in history, for every piece of news that some outlet got wrong, you know, if X amount of people watched that sensationalist news, you know, only a fraction of those people watched the edit or the take back, or like the, oh no, like we messed up, right? So like that kind of sticks. But yeah, if Fox is being fooled by AI viral clips, if Fox is being fooled by all these clips, then I don't feel so bad that I got fooled as well by the little Chihuahua.
Oh, that's an interesting angle of like, yeah, that's bad, but I feel better because I'm always fucking up. Are you still playing with I refuse to download Sora. I know you were checking it out. Has it become a part of your repertoire?
No.
Scroll?
It hasn't.
That's good.
I got a little I was able to get like this license. I don't know if like access is more available now. I was able to get like an early access code thingy. It was crazy. Like I tried generating some videos. It looked too close to me for my own liking.
Yeah.
Right. Like especially like some, you know, certain frames and the voice. It got the voice right and so on. But yeah, like what people are doing with Sora is like generating these clips that are fun, right? Fun, like some fun clip, and just like putting it on a stream, and it looks a lot like TikTok, where you have these situations happening that never happened, and some of those, you know, look good enough that people move them to TikTok or Reels, and people just buy them. I'm sure like Facebook must be full of this shit, man, because like the boomers on Facebook, I'm sure, cannot tell the difference. And TikTok you can, like you can see it in the comments, like, oh, this is AI, and I'm like, oh damn, I got this one. But
yeah, we thought it was bad 5 plus years ago when misinformation was going around Facebook, and then all of a sudden everybody's uncle was an expert on QAnon for some reason, you know? And then now having video to back it up, it's a very scary prospect because some people just aren't getting smarter, and then other people are. Yeah, I don't trust anything I see on my phone anymore, and that's
I think that's
not
the
great.
that's
but
the
also,
starting policy now. Like that's how you
Yeah.
start life now.
That's bad, and that's also really good because I do think if there is to be a great kind of unplugging, it's something like this that makes it happen, where essentially, if what we're looking at is if every time you picked up a newspaper it was full of typos, you're gonna stop buying that newspaper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So long term
I
could be good.
Yeah, I have an interesting note on that from Interblaze in the comments. So I'll bet if all big AIs would genuinely work together towards a common goal with proper guidance, could be solving many of our biggest issues that we don't even see coming. So yeah, like I think that's very true. Like
I agree.
that's the hope. We published a couple of videos being a bit more hopeful on that. One is GPT therapy, which came out on yesterday or Tuesday, on like some of the issues with human therapy that AI has put to light. Not saying do AI therapy by any means, but there's a good debate in that video. Go check it out. And also, another video on kind of like how Sora may be like this peak of misinformation that kind of breaks trust in online and has sort of forces us to rebuild trust again with what we see. And that's kind of to your point, Kevin. I think that that could be it. Like that could be the straw that breaks the camel's back and forces us to kind of think differently about what we see and how we can trust it.
Yeah, Interblaze. I agree. I like the idea of all big AIs coming together for a common good, but at the end of the day, I mean, look at OpenAI becoming going from nonprofit to for-profit. At the end of the day, they now are beholden to shareholders, and so what might have started as a noble pursuit has become a profitable one. And capitalism, baby. And that's why you can't buy a good piece of furniture or all Starbucks suck now, because sometimes the greater good isn't the end goal of capitalism. Now let's move on to something a little lighter, because I mentioned capitalism. I just want to shout out one of my favorite startups of all time. MoviePass. Back in the news. MoviePass, you all know, the same company that blew up by offering unlimited movies for $10, is back with a new idea. A fantasy league for film buffs called Mogul. Because Hollywood knows if a franchise fails, just give it a reboot. What could possibly go wrong? Mo, did you check out this Mogul thing? I'm a little curious about it. Let's break down how it works real quick. Basically, users can pick upcoming films and predict box office performance and compete for real prizes like cash, gift cards, and free movie tickets. It's basically fantasy football, but instead of quarterbacks, you're betting on which superhero reboot's going to flop the hardest. And I just think that's fun. I like it. I like it, and I hate it for the same reasons. But I want to hear what you think.
Yeah. I think it's like put your money where your mouth is for film buffs, I guess. Where I think film critics are so uptight about their predictions and so on. It's like, okay, now bet on it. I think it's a fun game. My biggest concern is that a lot of these, when these games deal in blockchain like Mogul does. What's the deal? Is the deal making a fun game, or is the deal speculating on the price of the token? And that's kind of the problem. Like you see a lot of these like online, like I don't want to call them Web3, but you see like online blockchain-based games where there's some token reward situation that's in theory designed to make the game better or more fun or more engaging. What actually ends up happening is people just play the game to mine the token and then sell the token, then trade with the token and speculate on it. So for a dying company, like, I mean, first surprise that MoviePass is still around. They're still around.
They
Like
won't
all of their
die.
major. They refuse. They keep coming with the reboots. Like all the other films. Movie theaters have started their own subscriptions. I was a happy member of Alamo Draft Houses, like unlimited movie. Like loved it. I loved the thing. So MoviePass is at a disadvantage in that game, even though they invented it. Sad. So yeah, hopefully they don't fall into the classic blockchain game and come up with something that's actually fun. The thesis
Yeah.
is good. I like it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I like it. I just like it for the same reasons, because I'm not entirely sure how it works. At a glance, it seems like it's basically DraftKings for people who'd like to debate the works of Akira Kurosawa. That's me. Until you realize every corner of the internet now wants you to gamble. These apps normalize it through play. It's just a game. It's just but they here's the thing. They don't look like casinos. They look like social networks or games or and but behind every swipe, you're feeding an algorithm that profits from your loss, from your actual hard-earned money. And when I did my research, if I did research, I mean I skimmed an article. I didn't entirely understand what the buy-in was and what you have to lose, But it kind of feels like it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I've played around with Kalshi and things like that. I've actually the number one thing I go to on Kalshi is like Rotten Tomatoes scores, so it sounds kind of like that. But that's also something I shouldn't be doing because it's bad.
Yeah. It's. I mean, there's a 400,000 plus wait list for season 1, so you can go ahead and sign up, Kev, if you wanna give that a shot.
Nah.
But but yeah, like I think the sort of like the unlocking of gambling now, or the normalization of gambling. There's an interesting study on how when you gamble, like the emotional loss or the emotional punch of losing money is much smaller than the emotional gain of winning money, right? So winning, the feeling, like the dopamine hit of winning it when gambling is so strong that it sort of completely offsets and then some the the chemicals, whatever, that you got when you lost, right? So point being, that's why you feel it when you win. It doesn't matter how much you've lost before. It sort of erases that for you, and that's kind of like the onset of an addiction. Like I remember, like for the longest time, like gambling on sports books, like on games, it was illegal. Like a lot of the sports books that booked all these bets were based in Costa Rica, because it was like this legal. I have friends who work there. Because it was like this legal loophole where if the gambling site is not based in the U.S., it's sort of like off the grid, and you can potentially use it. Supreme Court struck that down, so now DraftKings and all these gambling sites can be based in the U.S. and everybody can gamble freely. So yay!
We're living in the
Yay for your
future.
gains.
We're living in the future where Biff is in control of everything in Back to the Future. Everything's neon, and he owns a casino. Personally, I'm not a big gamble on your phone guy. Like I said, I've played around with Kalshi a little bit, but I don't remember the last time I opened it. But I know that's not the case for everybody. And
No, I
it's
absolutely love gambling. Like I
dude,
love gambling to the point.
love gambling. I do not. If there was a casino in my town, I gotta go over to Atlantic City if I want to get. But I'm like, But so now it's like a vacation. We're on vacation, and I do always look. Does Chicago have a casino? Oh, they do. Maybe I'll pop by and lose a quick $300. That might be a fun way to enjoy the trip. But yeah, the idea that it's just in your pocket, it's just here, is gonna be bad for society as a whole. I think we could all agree. I think even shareholders of these companies gotta go like, it's a little unethical
Yeah,
how I make my money,
yeah,
right?
I love gambling to the point where I don't go gambling because I know it's addicting. But I guess that at least for me, and thankfully, the experience of like the physical gambling, like the physical chip card situation, roulette, whatever, like that's part of the fun. And so like I don't get that
That's a good
you know,
point.
from digital, right? But if I would, or for people that do, yeah, that's a problem. And you know, we're making it so readily available now.
That's a really good point. There's something, the old school, like sitting at a table, playing with your chips, hearing that as you play with your chips, watching the ball pop around or watching the card flop or whatever. You're like, yeah, let's go. It feels much more engaging than just like, boop. Oh shit, I lost $500. You know, where's the fun in that? Call me old school, baby.
Last note, I like the analog luck of like a card coming up from a random shuffle, other than the digital generate random number and see if this guy won. Like I guess because I kind of know how it works in the background. But yeah, that's right.
Totally.
Well,
it's like playing video poker. Like, it's just not the same.
Exactly.
It's not the same. Hey, gang, real quick, in the chat, go ahead and leave a comment on the most you've ever lost gambling. I think that'll be fun. And then we'll bring in our wives and girlfriends to comment.
All right, the sun has just come out here, which means I'm going to start getting some sunburn. But also, it's the end of our slot. I have some shooting to go do. But thanks for bringing us the news, Kev.
Yeah. Gang, next week.
Today.
Next Wednesday?
We'll catch next Thursday, and about the same time.
All right. See you, gang.
All right. 700. Oh, we'll wrap it there. 700 this Joey 99 lost.
Joel, I got you beat, but I'm not going to say it on mic. Bye, y'all.